Just want to make sure. Yeah. Okay. So the recorder's going. So let's go back on the record after our break. And we are continuing in the matter of two cases, Jeffrey Peterson versus Raymond School District. And we are continuing with the witnesses, Dr. Garvey. We're continuing with his testimony at this time, as I understand it. Attorney Haslam is going to be cross-examining this witness, but by stipulation of the parties, for the sake of judicial efficiency, his direct is going to be combined with his cross, so that enlarges the scope potentially of the questions that are permissible. Does everybody concur that's the case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
so let's resume. You may question your witness, Attorney Haslam.
All right, good afternoon, Dr. Garvey. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Doing well. So I'm going to try really hard not to ask the same questions over and over again, but a lot of topics I'm going to hit you on again just to get more detail, okay?
Sounds good.
So you said you worked at Princeton, Sauk Prairie, and Johnson Creek. Is that right?
As an administrator, yes.
Okay. And in that time when you were an administrator at those schools, were there ever any formal complaints filed against you?
I cannot remember a formal complaint.
Okay. Now, I think in our deposition, we'll go ahead and enter this in now because we're going to be using it a lot. We talked about this too. So this is C183. And I'm going to share my screen with you. You let me know if you can see this. Can you see this?
Wes, I apologize. This is a new exhibit, correct?
This is a new exhibit, correct? His
So
deposition.
let's all get on the same page. Is this, Judge, is this going to be complainants 93?
Let me look. Give me one moment just to pull up my.
That's what I have too.
See here. Last one we left off with was C92. Yes, C93 is the next hearing number, and as I heard you, if I heard you correctly, C183 is your exhibit number, which we'll use as the Bates number, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor, and the short title is Garvey deposition transcript.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Garvey, do you see this front page of this deposition transcript, and it says your name right here?
I do.
Okay, and I'm just going to scroll all the way to the bottom of it and show you that it ends and it comes to the index like a deposition transcripts do. Do you have any reason to doubt that this is the accurate representation of what you told me in the deposition?
I do not.
Okay, so I'm going to go to page 35 here, and I went ahead and highlighted some things just to make it easier on us. Okay, do you see where this is highlighted that I've got my cursor on right now?
Yes.
And I asked you the same question I just asked you in the deposition, right? I asked you in your time at Princeton, Sauk Prairie, and Johnson Creek, were there ever any formal complaints filed against you? And your answer then was, I suppose. And then I asked you again, I said, you don't recall? And you said, I mean, there were complaints. Yeah, that comes with the job. Is that an accurate representation of what you said?
It is.
And when you say that complaints come with the job, what do you mean by that? Like as an administrator, you get complaints, it's inevitable?
It is.
Okay. So I guess you can't make everyone happy, right? If you're a leader, you're gonna get some complaints against you. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Now did you leave
Excuse me.
Sauk Prairie because of a change to the school board?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I believe in your deposition, you told me that you negotiated a departure when a new school board came on. Am I right when I make that assertion?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you mean when you negotiate a departure? Tell me about that.
Well, one of the beliefs that I've always held is that there has to be a good fit between the administrator and the Board of Education. And if the board wants to take a different path, or the administrator doesn't agree with the path the board is on, there should be a departure. And in this particular case, they wanted to go a different direction. And so we negotiated a resignation which would allow me to maintain some of my benefits for the remainder of my contract.
Okay, and so that's similar to what you were talking about with Ms. Lubinsky when you were talking about an offer the school board extended to Peterson in June of 2023. Is that right?
I didn't see the offer, but I would assume that was the process they were going through.
Okay, great. So you told Ms. Lubinsky that you learned about the opening at Raymond School through the HYA. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, did Mike Ritchie call you directly?
He did.
He did, okay. And when, I think you may have answered this, but I just want to make sure my timeline's the same as yours. When did you become the interim superintendent at Raymond School?
I did some pre-work there in October and started in November.
And you said before you were on the Wisconsin retirement system pension at the time, right?
I am.
And that's why you couldn't work over a certain amount of hours, correct?
Correct.
And if I were to say that you were limited to 880 hours, does that sound about right to you?
I don't know the number, but if you did the math, I believe you.
Okay. Do you have any reason to dispute that? I mean, it's not going to be too much of an issue if you don't remember the number.
Right.
Okay. And when did you become the permanent superintendent of Raymond School?
That would have been the following July 1st.
On July 1st. And did you tell Ms. Lubinsky that you couldn't really remember when you were actually hired, but you gave her the contract start date, right?
Correct.
And so they actually told you you're going to fill that role sometime before July 1st, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Do you recall roughly how long before July 1st they told you that you were going to be selected for it?
I don't.
And do you still work in the Wisconsin school system?
No, I'm retired.
Did you, you said you resigned in December of 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
And after you initially left Raymond, did you stay behind to help with some things, like finishing the budget?
I don't believe I stayed any farther past the 31st of December.
When you were first hired at Raymond, do you remember the members of the school board?
I think I can produce those names. Would you
By
like me
memory
to?
or?
By
Yeah,
memory.
if you can, please do.
Jeremy Childers, Audrey Kostic, Gwen, Jen,
Janelle Wise, is that what you're thinking?
Janelle Wise, and Jen Lopnow.
Okay, Jim Lopnow. And as the superintendent of Raymond School, where did you get your marching orders from?
Any superintendent gets them from the Board of Education.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about the admin review you conducted of Peterson in 2023. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the exhibit so we can take a look at it again. And this is the exhibit that's already been entered as C6.
While you do that, Wes, Judge, my client representative dropped out of the meeting. I know you are not admitting people along the way, but I do think it's important that Mr. Leach be added.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for alerting me to that.
Yep. Thank you.
Um,
Sorry, Wes.
No
Well,
problem.
hold on.
It's okay.
But before we continue, couple things. First of all, did we ever admit C92? That was discussed. That was from prior to today. I just don't want to not have it in the record. Was there any, that was Heidi's response to Peterson's open records request.
I have it as we admitted it.
I do
Okay.
not. So if I could just have one moment, I don't have a problem doing that right now. Just give me a moment.
Would you like me to pull it up for you, Lori?
Yeah, that'd be really great, Wes. It might
Make
be,
things go a little quicker.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, it could have been, I forgot, it was toward the end of the day, but I don't think so. I'm not sure. I don't know if we ever just admitted it into we discussed it.
Public records are, okay.
And I'll scroll down to page 2, page 3. See that?
Yep, I do not object to the admission of hearing exhibit C92.
Okay, at the risk of possible redundancy, exhibit C92, Bates C01, no, Bates C053 is admitted into the record. And then while we're at it, do we still need a foundation for this, or can we just admit C93 as well right now? That's the Garvey's, Dr. Garvey's deposition transcript.
I don't object.
Okay, counsel, do you want to move that now at this
Oh,
time?
yes, absolutely, Your Honor.
Okay, so exhibit C93, Bates C-183 is admitted.
All right, so Dr. Garvey, I'm going to pose to you that this is the same administrative review that you looked at before, but this copy is a little bit different. This one, if I go to the bottom, has your signature, but not Mr. Peterson's. Do you see that?
Yes,
So this would be after you signed it, but before you actually gave it to him, right?
right.
Okay. And I know you talked to Ms. Lubinsky about this a little bit, but I really want to dial in this March 25th date here, because I think you told me something at the December 6th hearing, and then you told me at something in the deposition, and then today you said you weren't quite sure, but it was sometime after you had started drafting it, right?
Wait.
Right.
I'm gonna object to, wait. I'm gonna object to all of your statements that preceded the question. That's inappropriate. I don't object to the question. But you reflecting on what you think people said it's not a question.
Yeah, I'll withdraw the statement, but
Okay.
but Dr. Garvey, anyway, the reason I want to dial this in is I just want us to think about it a little harder, okay? So with March 25th, with that, you said it was sometime after you started drafting it. It could, but did you also say it's like the way you said it? Could you also mean it could be when you were done drafting it?
No, I believe it was that I finished drafting it after March 25th.
You finished, do you know how long after that you finished drafting it, you'd say?
Well, earlier today, I believe I said maybe 10 days after that.
Okay. And now, April 24th, again, is when you gave it to Principal Peterson. I believe you told Ms. Lubinsky that already. Do you agree?
I agree.
Okay. And now I'm going to go show up. This is a document that's already been introduced. It's C6. Do you see this, Dr. Garvey?
Yes,
And we've talked about this before, right? This is the school's policy manual, Redmond School's policy manual. You see that?
yes,
And do we agree that you didn't follow the policy manual when you conducted the evaluations of Mr. Peterson?
to the extent of using CISA 6, yes,
Yeah, so you didn't use CISA 6, right?
correct.
Okay. Stop sharing now. And are you trained in CISA 6?
I am,
So you understand, you're familiar with the process?
I am.
And does that, when you say you were trained, does that mean you were certified through the CISA 6 training program?
Yes,
Now, I'm going to ask you a few questions about CISA 6. Does it contain a rubric of performance categories?
it does.
And just to be clear, does the rubric contain examples of what would constitute exemplary performance?
Yes,
Does it contain examples of what would be proficient performance?
yes,
Does it contain examples of satisfactory performance?
it does.
And does it contain examples of unsatisfactory performance?
It does.
And these examples, they aren't they're hypothetical examples, right? That an employee could look at to see what the expectation is, correct?
Yes,
Now, does the evaluation that you use contain examples of that type of performance?
that I placed.
Yeah, does your evaluation that you used on Principal Peterson, did it contain examples like CISA 6 does of what would constitute exemplary, proficient, unsatisfactory performance?
just to the extent that I added that information as these are the expectations.
Well, I mean, can you show me that? I'm gonna pull back open, C5 here. And this is, his review, right? So what I'm talking about is a rubric, right? You understand that? That's hypothetical examples of what would constitute, those different categories of performance.
Hey, Wes, did you intend to put something on your screen?
I sure did.
I thought so.
I thought he was still
There you go.
working on
There
it,
you
but,
go.
okay.
Now, Dr. Garvey, now that I clarified that it's a rubric that I'm asking if you included in yours, do you recall if you included one?
No, there was no rubric.
Okay. And I'll posit to you that that's what you told me before on December 6th also, 2023. Does that sound right to you?
Yes,
Okay. Now, does the CISA 6 evaluation process start? Does it begin? The evaluation process, does it begin with a meeting with the school employee to discuss goal setting at the beginning of the school year?
it does.
Okay. Did your process begin that way?
Not specifically about the evaluation.
Now, does the CISA 6 evaluation process, a year-long process that starts at the beginning of the school year and follows all the way through with certain goals in between?
Yes,
Was your evaluation process a year-long process?
it was not.
Okay. And does CISA 6 require scheduled feedback to be provided to the employee?
That is an expectation.
Okay. And did you, I see on your administrative review we're talking here, right? So I'm not conflating this with a PIP because those are two distinct things, correct?
Yes,
So does your administrative review, did it require scheduled feedback to be provided to the employee?
it does not have a schedule attached to it.
Did you ask Jeff to provide a self-assessment before you started your evaluation?
No,
CISA 6 require a self-evaluation before the process begins.
I believe it does.
And is that provided in writing?
Everything in CISA 6 is in writing.
Everything is CISA 6 is in writing. Okay. So what do you think the purpose of the self-assessment is before you begin a CISA 6 evaluation?
To find an agree upon starting point.
Okay. Get on the same page with the employee. Another way of saying that, perhaps?
Yes,
Who conducted teacher evaluations at Raymond School during the 22-23 school year?
Mr. Peterson and Mrs. Ramon.
And who conducted administrator evaluations?
I would have.
Okay. And were the teacher evaluations conducted using CISA 6?
I believe partially.
Why do you
I
say
do not.
partially?
I do not, as I've stated before, believe that CISA 6 was implemented as it is supposed to be implemented.
Okay, so you said that, and I didn't really, that seems kind of vague, so dial that in. If it was being used to conduct evaluations, where did the implementation fail? Like, how is that wrong?
By the middle of the year, so shortly after I got there, it was clear to me that teachers were first starting to develop their professional goals. So it had never been kicked in as the evaluation system.
But didn't you just say that the beginning of the CISA 6 process starts at the beginning of this school year where the person being evaluated provides the goals?
Yes,
Okay, and the deadline for those goals is October, isn't it?
it is.
Okay, so how is that different than any other year under CISA 6?
They had not implemented CISA 6 the way it was supposed to be implemented. They were still writing goals at the beginning of the new year in January,
The beginning of the new year in January, they're writing goals.
not the new school year.
Okay, now there's, they update their goals periodically in CISA 6 though too, don't they?
They should be.
Okay. Were there any other administrators that you evaluated during the 22-23 school year besides Peterson?
Mrs. Ramon was considered an administrator.
Did you evaluate her?
Yes.
Did you give her an evaluation?
Yes, Mr. Peterson and I worked on that together.
Okay. Now let's talk about the PIP a little bit. You gave Jeff a PIP on April 24th, 2023. Is that right?
Yes.
You have a little bit of a lag there. So if there's a delay, that's why. So that's the same day you gave him his evaluations. Is that right?
Yes.
And did the PIP have a scheduled follow-up meeting? Did it have a schedule of follow-up meetings to discuss his progress?
It did.
And did those follow-up meetings occur as scheduled?
No.
Do you know how many follow-up meetings you conducted with Mr. Peterson?
I don't.
I'm going to show you the exhibit we previously entered in and marked as C9. All right. Can you see this?
I can.
So I'm gonna explain this to you. This is actually a document where Principal Peterson is responding to your PIP update. Does that sound right to you? Is this something you recognize?
Can you scroll to the top, please? These are my notes after meeting with Mr. Peterson. Yes.
So these are your notes till well, actually, this is these are your notes till here, right?
Yep.
And then below that is where Mr. Peterson responds, correct?
Yes.
It says here that Mr. Peterson writes that you guys met on May 25th and on June 12th. Does that sound about right to you?
I have no reason to disagree with that.
Would you disagree with the statement that you only met formally twice during this PIP process?
Formally, that makes sense to me, 2 or 3 times.
Okay. And now the first time he says here that you met for about a half an hour. Is that about correct?
That seems reasonable.
And the second time, it's maybe a little over an hour. Does that sound about right too?
That could very much be possible, yes.
So that was just so that was just to establish the dates of when you guys had your formal meetings. And when you gave him the PIP, had you already decided on whether or not to renew his contract?
I don't
gonna
make
object.
that decision.
You've addressed my objection, so.
Yeah, let me say that differently. Had you already decided on whether or not to recommend the renewal or not recommend the renewal of his contract?
I had not decided that.
Okay. And when did you know that you would not be recommending the renewal of Mr. Peterson's contract?
I don't know that date.
I'm going to introduce an exhibit. I think, Lori, did you introduce the December 6th transcript yet? Do we get that entered
Yeah,
in?
it is hearing exhibit R14. I can pull it up if you want, or you can, whatever your preference is, Wes.
I've got it. I got it right here.
Yeah. For the record, R14 is the transcript.
note of that, so I'll say it again. All right, so share my screen here. Here on page 15, well, sorry, strike that. Okay, so here, down here on page 94, and I'm gonna make it larger for you because I know that's difficult. Is that better? I ask you on line 6, at what date did you know that you would be recommending Mr. Peterson to not keep his job? And you say, I would say early this fall. Does that sound about right?
That appears to be what I
Are
said,
you
yes.
asking him if that's what he testified to? Or are
Yeah.
you asking him if that refreshes his memory?
Does that refresh your memory?
It certainly is what I testified to, according to the transcript.
All right, and you testified to this in December, on December 6th of the same year, right?
Yes,
Would you say that your memory then was more accurate than your memory now about when you made the decision to not to not recommend the renewal of his contract?
I am really struggling on dates and timeframes.
Were you struggling on those back in December 6th?
I was not.
Were there board members suggesting that you not renew Mr. Peterson's contract?
Again, Wes, I'm going to object to the form of the question because he doesn't non-renew, but I think you can fix it.
Yeah, were there board members suggesting that you recommend the non-renewal of his contract?
No, the process is the other way around. I recommend to the board.
And did you tell me that you were aware that the board made an offer to buy Peterson's contract in early June of that same year?
Yes, I did tell you that.
Okay, and did you become aware of that contemporaneously, like while the offer was being made?
Yes,
Sorry, I didn't hear, counsel, I didn't hear what, an offer was made to what? I didn't hear that.
To buy out Mr. Peterson's contract.
Buy out. Oh, okay.
Yep, so, and just to be clear with the judgment, Dr. Garvey, that we're talking about there is we're talking about the same thing that you were discussing in Sauk Prairie, where you were negotiating an exit, sort of, right?
yes.
Okay. Now, did you ever give Mr. Peterson a third PIP update?
I do not believe so.
I'm going to bring up a new exhibit here. This is my C34, C034, and share my screen. And this is Peterson response to third PIP update. I'll give the judge a second to get that down. And this was going to come in, I believe,
Hold on a
as
second. Peterson response to, what was it?
third PIP update.
Third PIP updates.
We're doing C94 on this.
That's
Yeah.
C94,
Yes.
correct.
Thank you.
With the Bates number we're gonna use is C34.
Now, Dr. Garvey, do you recognize this?
Just give me a second, please. I certainly recognize my comments there.
Okay. And did you provide this to Mr. Peterson on October 2nd of 2023?
Just so we're clear, when you say this, are you referring solely to the top and not the Peterson response?
Yes, that's a good
Okay,
point.
I just want to be clear.
This also, just like the last PIP update, it includes the header and what you wrote, and then Peterson responded below that. So the portion, the PIP update, the third PIP update, not the response. Did you provide him with a third PIP update on October 2nd, 2023?
I did.
Okay. Now, was that after he had been already received his preliminary notice of non-renewal?
I don't recall those dates.
I'm going to pose to you that Peterson was given his preliminary notice of non-renewal on September 28th of 2023. Do you have any reason to disbelieve that?
I do not.
And so you provided him with a PIP update about a week after that or so. Is that correct?
I did.
Now, I've heard you talk a lot about a staff divide. And I just want to be really clear here. When you say staff, are you referring to teachers or other staff also, like secretaries and custodians?
When I've used that term, I'm referring to teachers.
So when you say staff divide, you're referring to teachers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're not talking about the secretaries, you're not talking about the custodians, just the teachers.
When I'm talking about staff divide, I'm talking about the teachers. Yes.
And what were they divided on? Any particular issues?
It really was the biggest issue was the whole idea of different standards, or at least perceived different standards between the veteran staff and the less than veteran staff.
And what's the divide between veteran staff and non-veteran staff? Like, how do you differentiate between those two groups?
I'm trying to recall
Well, hold on, I don't understand that question. Are you saying how do you explain who falls into what group? Or is it more going to the content?
No, exactly, Your Honor. It's about like how do you determine who's a veteran staff and who's not a
Okay,
veteran staff?
got it.
I would have to look back at some things, but I think it was almost a clear divide on those that had been employed by the district for longer than 10 years and those that had been under 10 years, give or take a couple of years there.
And can you give me an idea, like a percentage of how many teachers were in each group?
I really can't.
Do you recall if there
It
were?
might have been half and half, or it was more than a few. It might have been half and half, or just a little bit under that in the relatively newer staff.
So pretty close to half and half by your recollection. Is that about right?
I would say that's pretty close.
And earlier when I asked you about particular issues they were divided on, you told me that it was they were held to different standards. Can you tell me what you mean by different standards?
Expectations of time to be in the building, expectations on sticking to the curriculum, sticking to the instructional practices, everything to do with instruction, where staff were expected to be using certain curriculum or certain technology, and the senior staff got a pass many times.
And when I believe you answered Ms. Lubinsky's question on this, but I just want to clear it up. And when did you become aware of this staff divide?
It was very early in my time there.
Was it
And
around? Oh, was it through the HYA report that you received? Is that what did you tell Ms. Lubinsky it was you first learned about through the HYA report?
No,
Okay.
no.
And did Mr. Peterson ever provide you with any evidence on his work towards overcoming a staff divide that demonstrated there really wasn't any divide among the teachers?
There was a document that he provided, I think, or else conversation, but it didn't address completely the issue, nor was it in all honesty credible.
You were choppy there. You said his evidence was not credible. Is that correct?
Correct.
When did you first talk to, so let's rewind a little bit. You got a call from HYA about an opening, and then eventually you talked to people at Raymond School. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when did you first talk to someone at Raymond School about the interim superintendent position?
Probably, I'm going to be terrible at these types of dates, but I think it was the week that I was being offered an interview.
Which would have been,
Not the week I interviewed, but
so that would have been early October of 2022.
yes.
I'm gonna bring up an exhibit here that I have not entered yet. It's C-143, page 55. And the short title on this is email from Gwen Keller to Mike Ritchie, 10/3/22. So I understand, Dr. Garvey, that you weren't involved in this email, but what I want you to do is I want you to see that Gwen Keller sent Mike Ritchie an email saying that she confirmed with you yesterday and that you're scheduled for October 13th at 4 p.m. Does that sound about right for the date of your interview?
It's yes.
And about the length of time between you talked to her and when you and when this email went out? Being the
That's
date?
reasonable.
Okay, you understand what I was asking?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
And I guess at the time she says here, please let us know if there are other candidates you think we should interview. I guess at the time there weren't any other candidates. Is that something you have knowledge of?
I'm gonna object, wait, I'm gonna object to the statement because there's no testimony to that effect. I don't object to you asking him what knowledge he has of other candidates.
Certainly, certainly. Do you read this sentence that I just highlighted here?
Yes, I do.
Now, are you aware of if you were the only candidate this time or if there are other candidates?
I believe there were other candidates.
I'm going to move to have C-143, page 55, entered in as exhibits 095.
Okay, before we do that, I don't think we got C-94. That's the response to the third PIP update.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd like to move that in, please.
For the record, I have no objection to hearing exhibit C-94 or 95.
Okay, and so you're moving C-95 as well, counsel?
Yes, Your Honor, please.
All right, so exhibit C-94, Bates C-34 is admitted, and also admitted is C-95, Bates C-143.
Now, Dr. Garvey, did anyone tell you that you were the top candidate?
I don't recall that.
I'm going to show you an exhibit that's already been entered in. This is C-34. I'm just going to put it up here to give the time frame of this. And do you see this email here from Gwen Keller to quite a few people? Do you see that? Dr. Garvey, did you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was reading it.
No, I understand. But you see that this is subject line says regarding the October 13th special meeting agenda, and it's from Gwen Keller, right?
Okay. Yes.
And the date of this is October 4th, 2022. Does that sound right? Does that look right?
It does.
And what she says is, absolutely, Jeremy, I'm pleased to present Dr. Mike Garvey as our top candidate. So my question to you is, on October 4th of 2022, did you know you were the board's top candidate already?
I don't believe I did.
And were you the top candidate before you were interviewed? Were you aware of that?
I was not aware of that.
Now, did Raymond School also use the HYA to search for someone to fill the permanent superintendent position?
Yes,
And were you involved with this process of HYA searching for the superintendent position?
limited to logistics, but yes,
Did you help choose the questions for the community survey?
I don't recall personally helping with that, but I did collect some information from the administrative team and from staff.
Okay.
And then Mr. Ritchie met with the school board members.
And I think it's going to help us all right now to understand this is that, and I just want you to confirm this, right? The HYA did both a community, well, excuse me, the school put out a community survey. The HYA provided the questions and the school chose them, correct?
Correct.
So when I say community survey, that's what I'm referring to. And they also conducted focus grouped interviews. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And I'm going to go back to your deposition here, which we have as 90 C93. Or, yeah. And I'm going to share my screen so don't forget. Now, up here in this deposition, do you see where my cursor is? Do you see where my cursor is?
Yes,
I think I asked you, did you play a role in deciding which questions would be asked? And your answer was, I did work with the consultant because I was not a candidate for the position. Is that
Correct.
accurate?
yes,
So you worked with the consultant to help develop the questions for the community survey. And that's, again, the reason you added you weren't a candidate was why did you enter that in? Why did you say that also? Is that because it wouldn't be appropriate for a candidate to help find the criteria for the selection process?
Okay, that was like 3 questions. I don't object to the last question, but
I'll withdraw.
was-
I'll withdraw. I'm finding my way around it. Thank you. So you say, you said, I'm going to start here. You did work with a consultant because I was not a candidate for the position. Is that right?
that is correct.
Would it be inappropriate for a candidate to work on the survey? Is that why you said that? That's 2 questions. Strike the last one. Well, let me start over. I'm going to start over. Why did you add on that you were not a candidate for the position at the time?
Because I think that that is inappropriate to select the questions. However, that isn't what I stated in my deposition there. I helped the consultant through that process.
Okay.
I wasn't doing the selection. The school board members did the selection.
But you were clarifying that you weren't a candidate at the time that you were doing that work, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. And the next line down that I have highlighted, it said, I asked you, when did you become a candidate, right? And you answered very late in the process when they called folks in for interviews and 2 dropped out. So it left 2 candidates. Does that sound accurate?
That is accurate.
Okay. So when was that? Do you recall in terms of a month even?
I don't.
When did the process end? Did it end in April when the report came out?
what report are you referring to?
The HYA report?
That's dated February, Wes.
February. Okay. Was it February when I thought it was April. Oh no.
HYA report, I believe, is February 23rd. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the date.
So let's get that straight right now. Make
Yeah.
sure. So give me one moment.
February 23rd is what I've got.
Okay, I have no reason to Were there also interviews going on in April and May?
When you say also, what are you referring to as also?
Were there also interviews, I said, interviews for the superintendent position going on in April and May?
In addition to what?
I think we're all choppy here. It seems like I'm missing words from you guys and you may be missing words from me. Are we having an issue? Is it my end that's choppy?
I think I've heard everyone. Can you hear me now?
I hear you great now, yeah. So,
Okay.
I can hear you as well, Wes.
yeah, 'cause
I
let me
think
ask
my-
the question. So
Yeah,
when
go
I asked the
ahead.
question the first time, I did say interviews, but it apparently got cut out. So were they doing interview? Was the school conducting interviews for full-time superintendents as late as April and May?
I don't recall what the months were.
And do you recall when you became a candidate for the position?
I don't.
So I've got another previously entered exhibit here. This is C90. And my fault. It's not, which one is oh, got it. All right. So this is a document previously introduced as C90. And can you please confirm that right here where I put this little orange marker, this is an email that you wrote on December 13th, 2022.
I see that date.
Okay. And I'm going to scroll down a bit further. And does your email carry over to the next page? Can you confirm that for me? This is still your email?
It does.
Okay. And when I go down here to the places I have marked here, it states, if you search for a part-time superintendent, at this point, I will be a candidate. Is that correct?
It does say that.
And you're referring to the permanent superintendent role, right?
Yes.
Okay. So the line below that, I'm going to read this to you. It said, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay? Can you see it okay?
Yes.
It says, I am not sure if the search process will satisfy the teachers who wish to be part of the process. What I'm hearing, and you or may not be hearing the same thing, is that some of the veteran staff is supporting a full-time super, and that being Jeff, and that Jeff has promised Abby the principal role. I have not been able to confirm this. If you open up the discussion and fail to hear them in quotation marks, and the result is a part-time administrator, I am not sure if in their minds you can be including them also in quotation marks. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
So the line below that says, however, Mike from HYA will argue that if the focus groups endorse a part-time super in quotation marks, the successful candidate, me or another, will go into next year in a good place. Did I read that last line correctly also?
Yes.
So I have a few questions about what you're saying here. Is this, when you're saying here that you would be a candidate, correct?
Under certain circumstances, yes.
If it were a part-time position, right?
Yes.
And the school understood that you couldn't fill anything other than a part-time role, right?
Yes.
And this is actually before the community survey was created and you were working with the consultants, correct?
I believe so. I'd have to line the dates up.
What was the date of the email, council, again?
This December 13th, 2022. Now, are you telling the board in the second paragraph I've highlighted here? Are you telling the board that how to get staff support for yourself as the superintendent?
No, just the opposite, that they need to think about those expectations during this process, because part of the survey that they were looking at was, what position are we going to look for, part-time or full-time? So what is the administrative structure going to look like? As well as the part of the survey that we spent time on earlier, which is the questions about what do we want in a superintendent? What do we want the future of our school district to look like?
When you say the survey we spoke about earlier, you're referring to you and me spoke about earlier, not you and Mike Ritchie, right?
Correct.
Okay. And the last line, it didn't seem to align with what you said. So I want to read it again and have you explain that to me. You say, however, Mike from HYA will argue that if the focus groups endorse a part-time super, the successful candidate, me or another, will go into next year in a good place. How does that fit in with what you just said?
I think HYA has a stance that they take, Mike in particular, that if the survey calls for it, that will align with the community. And so I was just suggesting they're going to hear something a little different from Mike than they did from me.
And were you suggesting to the board that if they were to choose to fill a part-time role, they would get you, but if they chose to fill a full-time role, they would probably get Jeff. Is that correct?
No, I don't think there was any, that was not my intent of this conversation.
Okay, but it does say here, supporting a full-time super, that being Jeff, right? Is that correct?
The veteran staff.
Supporting, yeah.
Yeah.
They were
I'm
supporting-
not saying that. I'm reporting out what veteran staff have told me.
Okay, and then you're saying the part-time super, in quotes, is going to be you or another, right?
Correct. I guess I made the assumption that, and it probably was conversations that I had with Jeff, that he wasn't interested in a part-time position.
Okay. And now I want to go back to the last sentence of the second paragraph here. I'm going to just go ahead and highlight it briefly and then click out of it so you can read it better. Do you see what I highlighted? So the last sentence here starts with, if you open up the discussion and fail to hear them in quotation marks. Why did you put hear them in quotation marks? Do you know?
Sure, that's a common it's a common thing we hear as administrators is if the expectation isn't fulfilled that they have, then you're not hearing them.
Okay. And also the same thing with including them. Is that why you put that into quotation marks?
Right.
Okay. I'm going to open up another document that's previously been introduced as C38. So here, is this a, do you see what I have here highlighted? Do you see the subject line says regarding superintendent search?
I do.
And do you see it's from Gwen Keller and it's to you?
I do.
And you see no one else except for you and Gwen Keller are included in this email?
That's correct.
Okay. And sorry, I clicked on that. So now we're going to get our dates straight because I noticed your dates on your emails start with the day, month, year. Can we agree on that?
I never noticed that before. But
Okay.
yes.
But you do agree that this is not May 1st, but January 1st of 2023, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And maybe it's Gwen's emails actually, because it's from her. But regardless, we agreed that it's January 5th, 2023. And here is Gwen telling you how to structure the teacher focus groups.
Asking me that, yes.
And she's responding to your email that you sent on January 4th, 2023. Do you see that?
Yes,
And what you say is, I'm just going to read it aloud and you tell me if I read it wrong. Per Jeremy, I reached out to Mike Ritchie at HYA on my way home Monday evening. I explained that the district was moving forward with the search without the community survey. Did I read that correctly?
yes,
So on January 4th, 2023, you're telling Mike Ritchie of HYA that you guys are moving forward without the community survey. Is that correct?
the community survey I'm referring to there is the $10,000 one.
Okay, you guys went with the homegrown community survey, right? Where you published it yourselves?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I guess, is this where the staff, I mean, you also say that, I guess up here where Gwen is telling you how to structure the focus groups. Do you see that? She says, can we structure the teacher focus groups to have tenured in one and newer, less tenured in the other? I'd like to see if there are major differences in response and help those less tenured teachers feel comfortable and open to sharing their feedback. Is that correct?
That is what she wrote.
Is this where the staff divide originated?
Object to the form? I don't understand your question.
Uh,
What do you mean
understand?
originated?
Is this where it came from? Because it appears, I mean, sorry, let me pause it. I'll withdraw the question. I'll pause it a couple of things first. You agree here that Gwen Keller is saying that she wants to see if there are differences between more tenured staff and less tenured staff, right?
Yes,
Okay. And she's writing this on January 5th of 2023, right?
yes,
And so is it fair to assume that she doesn't know if there's a staff divide at this point, and neither do you, because it's an email between the two of you. Would that be a fair assumption?
Objection, that's compound. It also requires speculation as to what Ms. Keller may have thought. He cannot possibly answer that part of your question.
I'm going to withdraw the question. Was the HYA report used as an evaluative tool for Mr. Peterson?
no,
So I'm curious, do you know why it ended up in his personnel file?
the HYA report, I do not know that.
I'm going to introduce an exhibit I have marked C109, pages 14 to 15. And this will be exhibit number C96. And the short title of this will be email from Garvey to Childers 6/3/23. Oh, excuse me. They got me wrong again. It's 3/6/23, the short title. My apologies.
And
They
just so
threw
I
me off
know,
again.
Wes, are you introducing or attempting to introduce 2 pages or 1? I heard you say pages 14 and 15 is the only reason why I'm asking.
I'm going to introduce 2, yes.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So Dr. Garvey, do you see this email right here?
I do.
And this is from you to Jeremy Childers on March 6, 2023.
That, yes, that appears to be what it says.
And does it say that you can go ahead and read through this one and from the one down here too. And the very first line, is it saying that are you planning on meeting with Bob Butler?
It appears that way.
And he's the district's attorney, correct? The school district's attorney, right?
At that time, yes.
And were you going to meet with him regarding the HYA report?
Objection, that calls for attorney-client privilege, and I'm instructing the witness not to answer any questions with regard to what he intended to speak with the district's lawyer about.
So I'm going to scroll down to page 15 here.
So what's your response to that? Are you just gonna
I'm
not
gonna let it,
pursue that question?
I'm gonna let it go. No, she's right. I asked him directly for the it's in the emails anyway. It's gonna come out in a second, so I'll hold off. I'll withdraw. So, now I'm scrolling down to page 15 of this, and this is an email from Jeremy Childers to you, correct?
Yes.
And it says here's the public report. I don't even have a copy of the full report. I directed him to email that to Bob Butler. If I get a copy, it will become open records. I wanted to hold off on that till after we met with Bob. Please reach out to Bob if you would like to discuss. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Now, was there a difference between the public report and the full report?
That was not something I was privy to.
Do you know why the board wouldn't want the full HYA report, or strike that? Strike that. Did the board ever tell you why they didn't want the HYA report to become public records?
Objection that assumes fact, not an evidence, that the board didn't want it to become public records. You can rephrase to fix it.
Did anyone on the board ever tell you that they didn't want the HYA to become a public records?
I don't believe so.
Okay. But this email is from the board president at the time to you, correct?
It is.
And just really quickly, what is the purpose of a profile of a leadership profile report again?
The leadership profile helps the board create, well, it is the creation of a profile to look for successful candidates that match what that profile is. It's just guidance to the board as to what others are saying is needed.
Okay. And the purpose of it is to search for a candidate, correct?
Correct.
And did Raymond use it that way?
I believe so.
Now, did the HYA report become a public record when it was placed into Peterson's file? Do you know that?
The HYA report was released as a public document.
To whom?
Anyone in the community that wanted to see it.
Do you remember who the first person was to ask for it?
I don't.
Does the name Art Binhack refresh your memory?
Are you
He was
asking
in
him
the-
if, wait. Are you asking him if it refreshes his memory that Art was the first person to ask for
Yes.
it?
Well, I mean, if it is, he could say that, but yes.
Well, I do know Art Binheck, an active member of the Raymond community, and I do know that he requested it, but I don't think he was the first person to request it because I think he was actually several weeks into the release.
So do you remember who the first release of Peterson's personnel file was to?
I don't recall that.
When Peterson's personnel file was requested, was he contacted about that there was a request being made and he would have a chance to augment that request?
He was.
And was he told in that augmentation notification that who was requesting the file?
I don't recall what that full letter said, but I know that he was aware.
And I'm just gonna ask again, I'm not sure if I got an answer for this. Why was the HYA report in Peterson's personnel file to begin with?
I don't know that it was.
So is it fair to say that you don't remember putting it there yourself, right?
Correct.
Now, I'm gonna move to introduce, into evidence the C-140 or C-109, pages 14 and 15, please.
No objection.
That'll be
So-
exhibit number 96 I have,
Yeah,
C-96.
exhibit C 96, Bates C 109 is admitted.
And I'm gonna introduce another exhibit here. This is, going to be, C-143, page 17. And the short title of this is email from Childers to Garvey on 3/9/23.
Yes.
Can you see this email, Dr. Garvey?
Yes.
Okay, so, I mean, I'm not too worried about the first paragraph, but just confirm for me that the subject is regarding HYA report, right?
Yes.
And it's from Jeremy Childers to you on March 9th, 2023. Is that right? And do you see you write to him back on March 9th, 2023? Do you see that?
Yes.
And you say, I will assume that this will give me enough info at least to respond to your question. Quotation marks. Is this referring to the items we already addressed or the new stuff? Quotation marks. Is that right?
Yes.
Does it say, I will certainly reach out to Bob Butler before the meeting? Enjoy the weekly snowstorm. Mike, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And with this, what are you referring to when you say the items we already discussed or the new stuff?
So is this addressing the items in the investigative report that was done before I came?
That's what I'm asking you. We're going to call that the
Or
Leffler report or the Bulow-Vetter report, I guess.
right. So I was answering your question. What this means is it referring to the items we've already addressed in that report from before I got to the district, or are these new items? And I'm
Now,
saying that once we have this conversation or I see this report or we talk with Bob, I'll be able to respond to Jeremy's question that he asked in the previous email.
okay. And now you're responding down here on, or sorry, you're responding to an email Jeremy Childers sent to you on March 9th, 2023. Is that right?
Yes.
And that says, here's the public report. I don't even have a copy of the full report. I directed him to email that to Bob Butler. Oh, we read that before, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay, just clarifying that. So that's your response to that email we talked about before. So I'm going to move to enter in page 17 of C-143 into evidence, please.
No objection.
Okay, would be exhibit C 97, Bates C 143, specifically page 17 is admitted.
All right. So did you use the report? Well, actually, strike that. Did Mr. Peterson ever request a copy of the HYA survey or the community survey, rather?
I believe he did.
And did you provide that to him?
I did.
You did? You gave him a copy of the survey, the community survey?
The survey? Yes.
Okay. And was that copy of the survey the raw data of the survey? Or was
No.
it the questions to the survey?
The questions.
Okay. Did he ask for a copy of the raw data from the community survey?
I never saw any raw data.
Okay. Do you recall if Peterson requested it though? That's what I'm asking.
I don't recall, but that seems reasonable that he asked for it.
And did you use the HYA report as a part of Mr. Peterson's evaluations?
No,
Do you recall going to a retreat at Audrey Costa's house in December of 2022?
yes,
And did you discuss at that retreat? Did you discuss your candidacy for a superintendent position?
no.
So I'm going to pull up an exhibit that has not been entered in yet. So again, I just really quickly, I just asked you if you discussed your candidacy at the retreat held at Audrey Costa's house in December of 2022, and your answer was no, correct?
Correct. We discussed the options of
So,
part-time or full-time.
okay. So you discussed you discussed the superintendent position, but not your candidacy. Is that right?
Correct.
Did you discuss the options for doing a search and not doing a search?
I don't recall if that was a specific question.
And do you recall if actually, let's go ahead and share this screen with you. This is going to be Bates number C050, and the short title is going to be email from Garvey to Childers, December 12/18/22. Can you see this email here, Dr. Garvey?
Yes,
And so it says the topic of a superintendent search came up during discussion at the retreat, correct?
yes,
And you said it's clear to me that all present felt that a part-time position was in order, right?
yes,
Okay. And then you say the discussion then moved towards do a search or do not do a search. And you say, I got a feeling that the majority, if not all, supported not doing a search, right?
that is what I wrote.
And the next paragraph down, it says, Gwen emailed me today and indicated that a decision should be made tomorrow. However, I understood from their retreat conversation that finalized plans would be made in January. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And then you give a few options of how to handle it, straw poll, et cetera, correct?
Yes,
And now down here, Jeremy Childers responds to you, correct? On that same day.
yes,
And he says, I think we should reserve this for a special meeting. I have strong feelings about preserving the integrity of the board. We told the staff that they would have a chance to participate. I want to give them a chance to have input into their future. There are lots of different perspectives in the school. We can't cater to all of them, but we could give them an opportunity to feel involved in the process. I don't want to debate this in public if we don't have to. Is that correct?
yes,
So is he saying that you wouldn't make the decision about a search until you had a special board meeting?
I'm going to object to the question. You said you wouldn't, you mean Dr. Garvey wouldn't make a decision?
Yeah, that's a good point. So is he saying that the school board wasn't going to make a decision unless there was a special board meeting, correct?
is that what Mr. Childers is saying?
That's what I'm asking you. Yes.
Yes,
So I'm going to move to have exhibit number, was this 050? Base number 050 moved in as exhibit number C98.
No objection.
Okay, C98, Bates C050 is received in evidence.
And you said earlier that you took on the role of full-time superintendent when again?
it would have been July 1st. of
of
23.
2023?
Yes.
And did Gwen Keller, when you were either an interim superintendent or the permanent superintendent, did she ever micromanage you?
She did not micromanage me.
I'm going to pull up a exhibit that's already been introduced, and this is going to be C41. I'll share the screen with you here. And do you see here that this is a email from Gwen Keller to you, correct? Correct?
It is.
And nobody else is included on this email except for the two of you, correct?
Correct.
And the date is March 27th, 2023. Is that right?
Yes.
And then do you want me to make this larger for you? I can. Here, let me do it anyway. Is that better?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. For all
I
of
was
our
zooming my
eyes.
head too close for you. So
Yeah, I've gone up to 200s now, so I need to, all right. So this, again, email from Gwen Keller to you, March 27th, 2023. And she is saying, thank you so much for following up. I do think this will go a long way in alleviating concerns. I agree with you that providing the links would have been even better. One of the items BinHack is running on is lack of transparency in curriculum. Why not share the links? When I look at the content, it made me feel much better about what was being discussed. By not sharing, it leaves my mind open to wander about all the terrible things we have to hear in the news. The next paragraph states, do you feel his action was undermining you and something you will mention when discussing performance improvement plan? Did I read that correctly?
you did.
Is she asking if Peterson was undermining you?
Yes.
And is she also asking if this is something you're going to mention when discussing Peterson's PIP?
She is asking me that.
On this day, had Peterson even been given a PIP yet?
No.
Now I'm going to introduce an exhibit that has not been introduced before, and I have this as Bates number C105. And the short title of this one is Email from Gwen Keller to Garvey, 1/22/23. Can you see this email?
Yes.
And this again is an email from Gwen Keller to you, nobody else, right?
Yes.
Okay. And she states here, the part I have highlighted, I'm not going to get into what she's talking about, but she says it's about a building issue. I'll pause it to you. If you have any reason to dispute that, you can, but it's not important. But I'm going to read this highlighted section to you, and you tell me if I read this highlighted section correctly, okay? It says, perhaps we should bring this up in our next executive session to discuss his performance as a group and bring everyone up to speed on what took place. After the next regular meeting, though, not the special meeting, please. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
She's saying that you should discuss Peterson's performance in the next executive meeting?
I'll have to connect that sentence just a second.
I'll take out the highlights and make it easier on you.
While he's reviewing, do we have a foundation to move this one?
Yes, I believe we do, Your Honor.
No
So-
objection.
Okay, so that was, just to be clear that C99 and the Bates was C-105, correct?
C105, that's correct.
Okay, so exhibit C99, Bates C105, is admitted.
Did you suss that out yet, Dr. Garvey?
Yes. Wes,
Okay.
I think she is asking as it is tied to
Yep.
As
Okay.
it is tied to the others that are involved in those types of responsibilities.
But she's talking about it's just an email just from her to you, correct?
Can I explain that?
Your attorney's gonna give you all the opportunity to explain everything. I want to roll through my 5 pages of questions as quickly as possible, so you
Okay.
can explain it all you want to.
We'll get back to that, Mike.
Okay.
So again, this is an email from January 22nd, 2023, right?
Yes.
Now I'm gonna, we moved that into evidence, so I'm gonna go ahead and go down to another exhibit that has not been moved into evidence, and this is C104. And the short title of this is Email from Keller to Garvey, January 15th, 2023. Can you see this email, Dr. Garvey? I can make it bigger.
Thank you. Okay,
All
I
right,
have
so
read it.
again, this is an email from Gwen Keller to you, correct?
Correct.
And she's only emailing you, right?
Correct.
And the date is January 15th, 2023, correct?
Correct.
And she states, our internal policy states a maximum of 30% open enrollment. And then in parentheses, it says, Mr. Peterson should know this. Your recommendations exceed that number if my math is correct. How do you propose recalibrate the recommendations? Best, Gwen. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
And now if I scroll down to this next page here, it's another email from Gwen to you, same day. And she says, please disregard my last email. I'm not able to find the policy that references 30%. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So up here, was she blaming Mr. Peterson for not knowing the open enrollment policy and telling you about it?
Objection foundation.
The email says that. I'm asking if that's what it says. I believe that's a fair
The
question.
email doesn't say that.
No, the email says what it says. I'm asking if that's what he interprets it. That's what it says.
What's your understanding of the statement in
That's
the
the
email,
question.
Dr. Garvey? I apologize.
My understanding was that in a previous year, the Board of Education had voted on a percentage for open enrollment. And what Mr. Peterson and I believe Ms. Ramon had presented was more than 30%.
Can somebody explain to me, I guess the witness, let's start with the witness. What does that even mean? 30% open enrollment for those of us who are not in the field. I don't know what that means.
Sure. Every January, the Board of Education has to determine the amount of open enrollment spots, if you will. And then as students apply for those spots, it basically becomes a first come, first serve if we can serve them. So for each grade and each program, we can say we can allow 3 students in, and that'll bring us to our max. We can allow 10 students in, and then there's a grand total. And the board actually approves each grade level or each program recommendation. So in a district that's has heavy special education, for example, with shortage on staff, you might have 0 slots in special education, but you might have 10 spots in the 7th grade.
Judge, in a little bit more of a big picture, these are non-resident students applying to come to the Raymond School District. Basically, students from outside the geographic boundaries of Raymond asking to come in. Hopefully that helps.
It's what open enrollment. And so the maximum of 30%, for example, would be there can be no more than 30% of the total student population that comes from other districts. Is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. And Attorney Haslam, that would be, I'm just trying to get clarity. The council can't provide testimony. I'm assuming you're okay with this discussion and concur with it?
Yeah, I understand it. I concur with it. It's not relevant to my points, so I mean,
Okay,
I'm gonna move on.
I apologize for interrupting then, but when I
No,
see something, I have no idea what the meaning is. It just bugs me, so,
over the last 2 years, I've learned so much about school lingo. I could go work in a
okay.
school now myself, so I completely understand. But anyway, moving on, Dr. Garvey. Again, she's saying basically here that she's assuming Mr. Peterson doesn't know that there's some policy, right? She's telling you about it, correct?
Objection, that's two questions.
Well, oh yeah, he didn't. You nodded your head, so I kept on going. But so I'll break them up. So she's assuming Mr. Peterson should have known about a policy here, correct?
Yes,
And she's telling you that Mr. Peterson didn't know this, and he should, right?
yes,
And she's only telling you again, correct?
yes,
And then if I go down here, she says she wasn't able to find the policy, correct?
correct.
Do you remember ever getting in and looking in to see if there was a policy that was made or a vote that was made?
There certainly was not a policy on it. And the vote is an annual vote, so past practice does not pertain.
I'm not sure I understand what you mean past practice does not pertain. Can you explain that a little bit?
The
for me?
decision made the January before does not affect the decision made in subsequent years.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that one. So, did I move that into evidence? I don't think I did.
Did not.
So I'll move that, I'd like to move C-104 in as C-100.
No
And this,
Sorry, Wes.
no, it's okay.
So C100, Exhibit C100, Bates C104 is admitted.
And now I'm going to bring up a document that we've already introduced, which is C-44. And I'm going to share my screen with you, Dr. Garvey. Tell me when you can see it.
Okay,
And this is an email from Gwen Keller on Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Is that correct?
yes,
And she's saying, I'd like to request an executive session topic at the next school board meeting to discuss the following. She says performance expectations for administrators and communicating roles and responsibilities, correct?
correct,
And she says additional responsibilities Mr. Peterson is being paid $30K extra for and how we are holding him accountable, correct?
okay,
Is that correct?
yes,
And the next one is feedback given to date to administration, and then in parentheses, Peterson and Ramon. Dr. Garvey to present any feedback documented in the personnel files, and then again in parentheses, or lack thereof. Is that correct?
correct.
Is she asking you to hold Peterson accountable?
Yes,
Is she asking you about feedback that was given to Peterson?
documented feedback, yes,
And is she asking you to present feedback documented in his personnel file?
yes.
And she also says, or lack thereof. How did you interpret that? What did you interpret that to mean?
If there is no documented feedback, then there would be no sharing with the board.
And she's looking for you to provide feedback. Is that correct?
Yes,
Now I'm going to bring up another document that's already been introduced as C-42. And do you see this document, Dr. Garvey?
yes,
And it says the subject is May 15th agenda items, correct?
yes,
And it's from Gwen Keller to you, and this time she includes Audrey Kostich, right?
yes,
And the date is, May 4th, 2023, correct?
it appears so, yes,
And she says, Hi, Dr. Garvey. Per my conversation with Audrey, please include the following topics to discuss during closed session May 15th. And the first bullet point says, WEAC survey from teachers presented on May 3rd, 2023. So I have that correct so far?
Yes,
And then in parentheses, right next to that, she puts review survey results and discussed how to respond along with any insubordination implications. Is that correct?
yes,
And then again, this is an email just between you, just from Gwen Keller, just to you and Kostich, correct?
yes,
And it's about the WEAC, I'm gonna call it the WEAC survey. Is that how you actually say it out loud, right?
yes,
And WEAC, is that the teachers union for Wisconsin, as you understand it?
yes.
And is she suggesting in this email, do you know, what, strike that. Do you interpret this email to be her suggesting that presenting this survey was a form of insubordination?
Well, I'll withdraw the objection. Go ahead.
I don't know that what her intention was.
Okay. And the next bullet point down, it says performance of Mr. Peterson. Do you see that?
Yes,
I'm going to pull up an exhibit that has not been introduced yet, and this is Bait Stamp C115. And the short title of this is Email from Keller to Garvey and Kostich, April 26, 2023. Can you see this email, Dr. Garvey?
yes,
And if you go down here, you see halfway down, there's there's an email and it says from Gwen Keller, dated April 26, 2023. Do you see that?
yes,
And it's to you, correct?
yes,
And it says, Dr. Garvey, please confirm a proper response to this email and or if I should contact WASB to review the exact documents that should be provided. For example, the documents provided to the interview committee were pared down to resume, cover letter, and references instead of the total documents provided by HYA. Since this is an open records request, I'm wondering if I should provide the total record from HYA. Did I read that correctly?
yes,
Is the subject line of this email open records request?
it is.
Is she asking you how to respond to an open records request?
She is.
Was she involved in responding to open records requests?
I'm going to object. That's overly broad.
You know if she had any involvement at all in responding to open records requests?
She did not fulfill that responsibility.
So this was outside of her normal scope of duties, Dr. Garvey?
This meaning this request that's on the screen? Is that what this is in your question?
That is correct.
My understanding of the statute is that one of the duties of the clerk is to keep
I'm gonna,
watch
if this is
over all
Dr. Garvey,
records.
I'm gonna cut you off because if you're talking about your understanding of a statute, I'd rather you not give me like a statutory qualification here. If it's your understanding of her role, I'm okay with you saying that. But you
The
initially,
rule, okay,
go ahead. Actually, I'm just gonna move on. You know, your lawyer
Thank
can
you.
clean that up later, but I understand what you're saying. It's not that pertinent to my line of questioning, so. Now, do you know if this particular open record request that she's working on here on April 26, 2023 is the same open record request that Art Binhack submitted?
I don't even know what it refers to.
Okay. So when your lawyer was questioning you today, did you say to her that no board member ever told you to conduct a performance review of Peterson?
I don't believe I said that.
Okay, so I'll ask the question then. Did any board member ever tell you to conduct a performance review of Mr. Peterson?
I'm sure that a number of board members stated that over time, certainly
Okay,
over my career.
that's plenty. If that's your memory, I'm happy with that. So the answer is yes then, right?
Yes,
Okay, fantastic. So when you were a superintendent your entire time, interim and permanent superintendent, did you notice a large increase in community involvement in board meetings?
yes.
Now, were community members concerned about transparency from the school and the school board?
I'm gonna object to the form of that question. It calls for speculation. You can fix it.
Do you know if community members were concerned about transparency with you and the school board?
I believe there were some community members expressing that as it related to the board decisions, as it related to curriculum and instruction issues, et cetera, finance, all of those types of things.
Okay. And so do you think that was a cause of the increased community involvement in board meetings? Was that one of the reasons?
I'm gonna object. That calls for speculation.
Would you assume that well, strike that. Were community members bringing these concerns to you that you just mentioned during board meetings?
Yes,
Okay. And is it around this time that you started noticing an increased community involvement in board meetings?
I'm gonna object on the grounds that it's vague. When you say around this time, what time are you referring to? The last exhibit was
Around the time when community members were expressing their concerns about transparency at board meetings.
those were concerns that were raised all along in my time there. Probably the spring of the year, there were more people in attendance.
Okay, great. Thank you. The spring of 2023, right?
Yes,
Okay. Now, did community members ever specifically express concern that the school stop providing budget information in the board packet that's available to them?
there was a community member who did express that we had changed the way we presented the material.
And did you stop disclosing financial information in the board packets?
No,
So you continued to release all the financials? Is that correct?
we used a different format.
What format was that? Was it not posted to the school website anymore?
That's two questions. Which question would you like him to answer?
Is the format you're referring to that they weren't posted to the school website anymore?
I don't I'm gonna object to the grounds, on the grounds that it's
So,
vague. The
I'll tell you
format
what,
and where it's posted are not, you're
I'll-
conflating.
Maybe I am. Okay, so I guess I'll strike that question. And Dr. Garvey, let me try and get this out in the easiest way possible. It's a tough question to get off. So you said in answering my question that you didn't stop releasing the financial information, right? You just did it in a different format. How did the format change?
I can't even recall.
Okay. And did that ever result in open records requests being submitted by members of the community? The change in format of the release of financial information?
I believe it did.
Okay. And did that also result in increased community attendance at meetings?
I'm gonna object on foundation grounds. I don't know how he can testify to why
It's
people
fine. It's
come
not
to
that important a
meetings.
question. I'll strike it and move on. Did any community members ever express concerns that the board agendas had the anti-discrimination statements removed from them?
I don't recall that.
Do you recall if the anti-discrimination statements were removed from board agendas?
When I started there, we used a agenda format that I've used in other districts. That was not included.
So you didn't, the entire time you were there, you just didn't know of that statement, right?
What's,
We didn't-
Strike it, moving on. Strike it, moving on. You're right. Now, there was a survey we talked about earlier being conducted by WEAC, right?
Yes,
So what I want to do is I want to show an exhibit that's been formally marked as C43. Give me 1 second. Okay. Can you see that on your screen, Dr. Garvey?
barely.
How's that?
Thank you.
Okay. So is this that WEAC survey we were just talking about?
It appears to be.
And it says here, let's see. I'm going to highlight it, and I'm going to take the highlight off right in this section. In the middle line, it says, a majority of all teachers, 23 out of 34, participated in the survey and completely responded to all 12 survey reflections. Did I read that correctly?
Yes,
And I'm going to posit to you that 23 out of 34 is 75%. I could break out the calculator, but can you just agree to that?
I will agree to that.
Okay, great. Now, was it apparent to you from the survey that a majority of teachers didn't think you had a good rapport with them?
The result of this survey, yes.
Mm-hmm. And was it apparent from the survey that a majority of teachers didn't think that you took their views seriously? I can scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, are you able to
Yeah, there you go.
point to that?
Wes, I think the witness was asking if you could help him identify where you were looking at.
Thank you. Yeah.
And
So,
you did. It's all good.
I didn't hear that one.
No worries.
So, let's see where that is. It's right here. And I could read the full line to you here if that helps you make the decision, right?
I see where you're pointing now, Wes.
Okay.
I do see that.
Okay. And so it says here that, I'm just going to read it out loud. It says 92% of the teaching staff responding to the survey, 21 teachers, either somewhat disagreed or strongly disagreed with the statement. The district administrator generally involves faculty in the decision-making process. He seeks our input and actually takes our views seriously when making final decisions. I read that correctly, right?
Yes,
And was it apparent from the survey also that most of the teachers didn't think you provided consistent directions? And I'll highlight this thing right here.
yes,
Okay. So now this is, again, 75% of the entire teaching staff, correct? Filled out the survey and completed it?
Well, I'm gonna object. He doesn't have the foundation to answer it. He can tell you what the letter says.
Yeah, you're right. So I'm going to strike that question. Dr. Garvey, do you see here? It's the survey says that 75% of the teachers filled out this survey.
that's what's written there. Yes.
Okay. When you received this survey results, did you have any reason to doubt that many teachers filled it out?
I probably had a little bit of skepticism on how it was delivered to them.
Okay. And so did you discuss this survey with Gwen Keller?
I don't remember who discussed it with me.
I'm going to pull up an exhibit that I have not introduced yet. This is Bates number C163. The short title is Email from Garvey to Keller, 6/8/23. And Dr. Garvey, do you see here, this is subject line, WEAC survey?
Yes,
And do you see it says from Michael Garvey to Gwen Keller?
Yes,
And this is just an email from you to her and nobody else, correct?
correct.
And it says, interesting, the copy I received had a copy of the survey, but no raw data. Thank you for sharing. I did not have the raw data to share. I did read the WEAC summary this morning. I had not before this. I now skimmed through the raw data. Certainly, the summary appears more damning than the raw data. In either case, it's nothing. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
And why were you saying it's nothing?
As I looked at the survey questions, a lot of the duties there belong to the principal of the building and not to the superintendent. And so I think that again, I'm trying to refresh my memory why exactly I responded that way.
Sorry. So you don't know why you responded that way, I guess, right? Is that correct? You don't remember? Is that your answer?
Correct.
Okay. I'd like to move this into evidence as exhibit number C102, please.
I don't think we moved the last one. The last one was the
Oh, yeah.
Keller to Garvey and Costich 42623. That would have been hearing exhibit C101, Bates C115.
Correct. Yeah. I'd like to move that into evidence, please, as C101.
And I have I have no objection on hearing exhibit C101 or hearing exhibit C102.
Okay, so C102 you're moving as well, as I understand it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so C102, Bates C163 is also admitted.
All right, Dr. Garvey. So after Peterson left Raymond School on administrative leave, who took over his role?
It was shared with our other administrators and with a dean of students, or a lead teacher actually was the title.
Was dean of students created after that for that individual? Was that title eventually created?
I believe so. I wasn't part of that.
Is the person you were referring to Rebecca Brockman, who filled that role?
Yes.
Okay. And would you consider Rebecca Brockman to be veteran staff?
She was probably on the cusp
Okay.
of veteran to non-veteran.
And do you recall if Peterson gave Brockman a letter of reprimand while he was the principal and you were the superintendent?
I don't recall that.
Do you recall receiving a letter of strike that? Do you recall receiving a letter of reprimand that Peterson gave you to review of any staff at Raymond School?
I do believe so, but I can't identify who it is.
And do you recall if that letter of reprimand dealt with complaints that that representatives of the Children's Hospital made to Raymond School about a certain individual?
I do recall that.
Okay.
Was
now that you recall that, do you recall if that individual was Rebecca Brockman?
I don't recall that.
Okay. And do you recall if the complaint from Children's Hospital was regarding a Raymond School staff's conduct during a meeting about a special ed child?
I believe that you're refreshing my memory to that. Yes.
And did Rebecca Brockman fill that role while Peterson was principal before she was the dean of students at Raymond School?
So what role?
The role that would be a role of a special ed teacher who would be discussing things with Children's Hospital.
I'm gonna object on
Yeah, strike that
foundation.
question.
Yeah.
That was a mouthful. I'm gonna move on. It's not that important. I'm gonna keep this humming along. So, anyway,
Hey,
eventually
Wes,
you,
Wes,
yes.
how much more do you have? I'm only asking because if we're 15 minutes or so, all good. I just need a restroom break.
Yeah, let's
That's
take
all.
a break. I got quite
Judge,
a bit to go.
would you mind if we take a restroom break?
I think that's a good idea. I think, we've admitted all the exhibits so far, I think so. All right, want 10 minutes or,
Yeah, that's fine for me.
okay, roughly 10 minutes, we'll reconvene.
Thanks,
Okay,
Matt.
thank you.
Okay, a few more. It looks like I have to readmit, Mr. Garvey here. Let's do that first. And Mr. Leach. On.
Hey, Judge, my mic was off. I was telling you that these other two people in here, Diane and Stacy, are both witnesses, so please don't admit them.
Oh, okay. That was my next question, but well, I'll just, okay. Yeah. Oh, let's see. Just double check. I don't think I stopped recording. Yep, this appears to be running. All right, everybody set. Let's go back on record here, resuming Attorney Haslam's examination of the witness, Dr. Garvey. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Dr. Garvey, were you involved in the process of hiring the firm Stadler Sachs to investigate Mr. Peterson for misconduct?
Yes,
And did you choose the firm Stadler Sachs yourself?
I did not.
Did you were you the points of contact for Investigator Sachs?
Yes,
Did you coordinate the teacher interviews with Stadler Sachs?
I'm going to object to the phrase coordinate. I just need to know what you mean. Are you talking just about scheduling?
Yeah, scheduling,
Oh,
sending
okay,
out
that's fine.
emails, notifications, that kind of thing, typical coordination.
yes,
Okay, and so did the extent of your coordination sending out emails to notify the teachers or having someone else do that for you?
yes.
Who did you have send out emails to have to schedule to inform the teachers that they were going to be interviewed by an investigator?
I don't recall if I did that or I had one of our office staff do that.
If I were to posit to you that Nikki Fuchs sent out at least some of those emails, would you be able to, would that sound right to you?
Yes, she was my confidential administrative secretary.
And if she were, oops, what's a confidential administrative secretary? In a few words, if you can, unless it's a lengthy explanation, I just want to know.
So she was my administrative assistant, and by the nature of my position, she is considered confidential.
Okay. And so when she sent out those emails, it would have been something that you told her to do, correct?
I believe I was involved in each one of them.
Did you tell her when to send those emails?
I believe I did.
Did you tell her to send those emails on the morning or day of December 6, 2023?
I don't know that.
On the day that we had our non-renewal hearing, and I'm going to pose to you that was December 6, 2023. On that day, do you remember telling her to send out emails to notify teachers that they were going to be talking to an investigator investigating employee misconduct?
I don't know the day that we sent them out.
You don't recall if it was on the same day as the hearing? The
I
non-renewal
don't
hearing?
recall that.
Okay. What exactly was Stadler Sachs going to investigate?
They were really looking into, was there any intrusion into technological intrusion into emails and files? Was there undermining of the administrator or the board? Those types of things.
So I'm going to pose to you, and that when I read the Stadler Sachs report, so we don't have to read the whole thing, that I didn't see anything in there about intrusion into electronic devices that you mentioned. Do you recall the same thing? Do you recall not seeing that in the Stadler Sachs report either?
I have not looked at the report
Okay.
in a long time, if I even saw a draft.
Okay. And were they investigating criminal conduct?
I don't know that that was that that was the directive, but certainly well within the scope.
Was that your intention? To have them investigate criminal conduct?
It was not my intention.
Okay, because the reason I ask is when I heard Ms. Lubinsky asking you these questions, you described it as an employee misconduct investigation and not a criminal investigation. Is that about right?
Yes,
And would you see there being a difference between an employee misconduct investigation and a criminal investigation?
very much so.
And did you tell anyone in the public that they were investigating criminal conduct?
Boy, I don't believe so.
Well, let me pull up an exhibit here. This has not been entered in yet. This is C124. And it will be, and it will be Garvey, public records request response to Calvi. And this was gonna be, when we entered in, it's gonna be C103.
Repeat that, Garvey Public Records Request Response.
Yep,
Okay, and
So-
yeah, this is C103. That's correct. Well, yeah, for the exhibit number, yes, that's C103, correct. Okay,
and it's Bates C124.
124, correct. Yeah, okay.
So Dr. Garvey, you see up here, this is dated October 18th, 2023.
I do.
And it's regarding a public records request and it's to Mr. Calvi. Do you know who Mr. Calvi is?
I believe a parent in the community.
If I put to you that he was a news reporter, would that refresh your memory?
I'll have to take your word on that. No, it did not refresh my memory.
Okay. Now down here, I have a highlighted part in the third paragraph here. And it says, it's talking about records that you aren't going to give him, right? But the point is, it says, however, they are exempt from disclosure at this time pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.3610B, as they contain information related to a current investigation of possible employee criminal conduct. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
And it says, therefore, the district will be able to disclose any records responding to your request. Is that right?
Correct.
And did you send that to Mr. Calvi?
I did.
Okay. And do you recall if there's any other investigations going on at Raymond School at the time that you would be referring to, except for the Sachs investigation?
I'm going to object to the form of that question.
Were you referring to the Sachs? I mean, strike my last question. Were you referring to the Sachs investigation when you were talking to Mr. Calvi in that response?
I believe I was.
And do you know why you would have described it as a criminal investigation?
I personally did not write that letter. It was provided to us by our legal counsel.
But you signed it?
I did.
Okay. And you reviewed it before you signed it?
I did.
Okay. So let's see here. Did you set up or select rather? Did you select the individuals that Mr. Sachs interviewed?
I do not remember how that list was selected.
You don't remember at all?
I don't.
Okay. Did any board members also help coordinate the investigation with between Stadler Sachs and the Raymond School?
All of those communications would have been through the attorney, so I wouldn't have been part of all those communications.
And do you know who paid for the Stadler Sachs investigation?
I don't.
Okay. So now I've got a few things, just some cleanup here. So I'm going to bounce around a little bit. Just bear with me. Now, I believe you told your attorney that you received some threats. Is that right?
Yes,
And you told me in a deposition that one of these threats was traced back to someone in Florida. Do I have that right?
you do.
Okay. And this person had no connection to Jeff Peterson, right?
Not
I'm
to
going to
my
object
knowledge.
to, I'll withdraw the objection.
And-
I didn't hear the answer. Can you just re-ask the question, then I want the answer.
Sure. My question was that the person who made the threats had no connection to Jeff Peterson, correct?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. And how did you
Hold
find
on,
out?
Wes, I apologize. My client representative, Mike Leach, is in the lobby. I apologize. I didn't know he wasn't let
No problem.
in.
It
Sorry
happens.
about that.
I think his name appeared until just very recently now, but
Maybe he
let's,
dropped and
yeah, whatever. We'll get him.
thank you.
we
Appreciate
go.
both of you. Thank you.
Nope, no problem. So, Dr. Garvey, I think I was talking about your threat letter, right? And I was,
Yes.
or not, strike that. I was talking about threats you received. You said you received one letter and one phone call, right?
Correct.
And you established that one of the people who made a threat to you was in Florida, right?
According to the sheriff's department, yes.
And didn't they also, did you tell me also in your deposition that he had made several threats to other people too, and they figured out kind of who he was?
I know of one other, but yes,
And who was that one other person that he made a threat to?
the governor of Florida.
Okay. And this person, do you know if he had any connections to Wisconsin?
I don't personally know that, but according to the sheriff's department, they determined he did not.
Okay. And I'm going to pull up a C40. It has not been introduced yet. It's my bait stamp C40. And I'm going to go to the top and share it with you. So this is short titled Garvey threat letter and sheriff report. And now, Dr. Garvey, can you please just take a look at this and confirm that this is the threat letter you received? You don't have to read the whole thing if you don't want to.
It appears that it is.
And this is the sheriff's report that you filed?
Well, I'm going to object to the form of that because it's a narrative from a police department of a report. He didn't file this.
Let me walk that back. I'll strike my last question. Dr. Garvey, did you file a police report when you got the letter?
Wes, can I make a correction to a response I gave you?
Sure.
The letter was not the Florida gentleman. The phone call was.
Okay, thanks for clearing that up. I appreciate that. And I think I had that down, but maybe I wasn't clear because I know you had two threats. So I kind of wanted you to spell that out for the judge anyway. So thanks for doing that.
Right.
So you see here, this police report, it was filed on, I guess, what was it, September 26th, and this is the narrative from the police officer, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so just remember 9/26/2023 is when you filed it, right? Or when you talked to the police officer and reported it, right?
Yes.
Now, how long after receiving the threat letter did you make the report to the police?
I believe it was the same day or the morning after.
Same day of the morning. So before you reported it to the police, did you tell anybody else about it?
Well, the letter went to my wife, so she's the one that opened it and then showed me. At some point, I shared it with Mr. Peterson, just verbally. And I don't know who else I might have shared it with. It would have been a very small circle of individuals. Obviously, since my daughter was mentioned, I included her, etc.
Okay, so you told your family, and now did you tell Peterson or people, anyone else at Raymond School possibly before or after you made the police report?
It was the same day. I don't know which came first.
Okay, so, and again, we established, I'm just gonna put my screen on one more time. The date here is 9/26/2023 at 8:30 a.m. Is that right?
That's what Chief Bleeker has, yes.
Okay, does that sound about right to you from when you spoke with the police officer?
It
8:30
does.
a.m. on 9. Okay, and you said it was either that day or the day before, the night before that you received it?
Well, it would have been the day before that we received it because 8:30 we wouldn't have had our mail yet.
Okay, great, great. Thanks for clearing that up. That's what I would put the time on there for. So did you tell any board members about it? Do you remember?
I would have at least communicated that to the board president.
Okay, now I'm gonna bring back up the, well, first let me enter this in as exhibit number 104, please.
I don't think we moved C-103,
Oh, please.
public records request response.
Yeah, please, let's move C-103 and 104 in, please.
No objection to either.
All right, so exhibit C-103, Bates C-124 is admitted, as well as exhibit C-104, Bates C-40.
And now I'm gonna go back to the exhibit I previously entered as C-103. And this is your response to Jason Calvi, correct?
Yes,
And it's jason.calvi@fox.com, correct?
that's what it says there, yes.
Okay. Does that maybe refresh your memory a little bit that he may have been a reporter?
With that email address, yes.
And so it says regarding the September 26, 2023 public records request, did he submit a public records request for any threats directed towards you on the same day that you reported it to the police?
Again, I don't know that.
But this date here does say September 26, 2023, right?
It does.
And the police report I just shared with you, I can pull it back up if I have to, but we could agree that also said 8:30 a.m. September 26, 2023, right?
Yes,
Okay, thank you. And he was asking about your threat letter, correct?
it appears that he was, yes.
Thank you. Okay, just a little cleanup. Just wanted to get my timeline straight. And you said that you were involved in the HYA process in Johnson Creek too, is that right?
To the extent of logistics, yes.
Okay. And Lori, I don't have your number offhand. Do you have it for the Johnson Creek report? I have it as Bates R32 still.
The Johnson Creek HYA report is not, to my knowledge, been marked.
Okay. Great.
But I could be wrong. I don't have all of our exhibits memorized.
No, I know you discussed it. Maybe you didn't show it. So we'll just go ahead and
Yeah.
get in. It's exhibit R32.
Would be hearing exhibit C-105.
Hearing exhibit C-105. Correct. Thank you. And
Okay, so all right, so I wonder if I should look and see if that's already, well, no, I'm not gonna do that. So
I'm reasonably confident this is a new exhibit.
okay.
But
Usually when we discuss a document, it is introduced as an exhibit, but maybe this time we didn't. So exhibit C-105, and we're gonna use exhibit R32 as the Bates.
correct. Thank you.
Do you want me to pull that up, Wes, or do you want to? I'm happy to do
I've
it.
got it right up right now. I
Sounds
got all
good.
your stuff. Yep. It's easy. It's
You
easy
want to
to
give me a
explain.
shorthand description if you've got it up?
Sure. It's Johnson Creek School, Johnson's Creek, HYA report. Can you, okay, oops, gotta scroll down. So is this, I know you looked at this earlier, but just take a look at it. Is this, the right date for the report that was given to Johnson Creek while you were working there?
It appears correct.
And that is the HYA, right? Same firm we were talking about earlier, correct?
Yes.
Now, if I scroll down, I got this part I highlighted here. It says, I'm just gonna read the highlighted part. It says, it's talking about who participated in what. It says, adding the 156 community members, parents, students, and staff who completed the online survey. Do you see that? Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
And so 156 people completed the Johnson Creek online survey, correct?
That's
I'm
what
gonna
it
object.
says.
He can say what it says, Wes. He
Thank you,
can't
thank you. Yes,
say that
yeah.
as true.
I'm going to strike that. I'm going to ask it again. I read that correctly? And that's what the Johnson Creek HYA report says, that 156 people filled out the community online survey, correct?
That's what it states.
Okay, thank you. And now if I go to, I believe I have this marked as C0, this is one of the first things we did. C008 is my Bates, I think. Sorry about that. I have the Bates up and not the other one.
Is this a new exhibit or?
I believe we've already introduced the HYA report. I'm not sure if
Yep.
we did it under Lori or
So-
me.
So I can represent the HYA report for Raymond is hearing exhibit R5, which was Bates stamped R6. And if you want to pull that up, Wes, I know you've got a version of it. I trust.
Yeah.
We're using the same one.
Okay. Thank you.
Do you want to move C105 then? Is
I
that,
would like to move I'd like to move C105 in, Your Honor.
No objection.
so exhibit C105 Bates R32 is admitted.
Okay. And I'm going to make this nice and big because it's even too small for me sitting right here. So it says here, participation. And the part I have highlighted says adding the 156 stakeholders who completed the online survey. Did you see that?
I do see that.
Is the fact that 156 people replied to the online survey just a coincidence?
I'm gonna object. He lacks foundation. He
Right.
has no knowledge of that.
Okay, I guess I'll ask a different question.
What
you
was are you saying the same number between two different
Yes.
surveys to two different communities? Is that?
Yes.
Correct. It's
Okay.
the same company, same number of people completing the same type of survey, two different schools. Does that sound right, Dr. Garvey?
Are you asking him if that's what the reports say?
Yes.
We will stipulate that's what the reports say.
Great. So my question to you, Dr. Garvey, is did you repurpose the Johnson Creek survey for Raymond School?
No. And I didn't create the survey.
I'm going to pull up another exhibit here, and this is going to be a new one. It's C109. Oops. And it is page 4.
What Bates are you on?
C109.
Oh,
And
that's your Bates.
Yep, C109, page 4.
Got
And
it.
this is a new exhibit.
What's the shorthand?
Shorthand is going to be Childers' email to Garvey on 3/3/23. Now, right here, Dr. Garvey, do you see this?
Wes, can you put it up on your screen for him?
Yep.
You're good.
Can you see that now, Dr. Garvey?
I do.
Okay. And now just read through the parts I have highlighted, please, and I won't make us all read them aloud here. Let me know when you're done.
Okay,
Okay, so do you say there in that email that board members have been briefed on the superintendent search? I'll highlight that part of it for you.
I do see that.
See that right there? And do you say, when you say that, do you mean that they have been briefed on the HYA report?
I don't know to what I was referring.
So you also talk about related administrative discussions. Is that also related to the HYA report?
Possibly.
Did Jeff Peterson ever ask you for a copy of the community survey that was done at Raymond School?
He did.
Did he receive that?
Yes.
How long after he asked you did he receive it?
I don't know that time period.
Did Gwen Keller ever discuss her long-term vision for the school with you, for Raymond School with you?
I don't recall that.
Did she ever tell you that her long-term vision was to have you as superintendent and bring another principal to replace Peterson?
I don't recall her saying that. Was there more than one version of the HYA report?
Objection, foundation. He can testify to what he knows, but he doesn't, he's
Okay.
not HYA.
Do you know if there was more than one version of the HYA report?
I do not know that.
I'm gonna move C109, page 4 into evidence, please, as exhibit number C 106, please.
No objection.
Exhibit C106, page C109 is admitted.
And I'm gonna bring up the exhibit that was already introduced as C89, already admitted as C89. And Dr. Garvey, do you see this is a
Wait, Wes,
short
yeah,
title?
put it on your screen.
Oh, yep. Do you see this, Dr. Garvey?
I do.
Okay, and the subject line is the district leadership profile report, correct?
Yes.
And it was from Mike Ritchie to a whole slew of people, and you're CC'd on it, correct?
Yes, to the board members and me.
And it was sent on February 23rd, 2023, is that correct?
Yes.
And as you say, good afternoon, we have placed a cleaned up version of the district leadership profile report in the board portal for your review. Did you see that? Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so does this refresh your memory at all that perhaps there were more than one version of the HYA district leadership report?
I'm gonna object again on foundation grounds. You can clean it up, but he does, you can ask him what he knows.
Yeah, okay.
But the email
It's to him.
presumably is intended to refresh his recollection, correct, counsel?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yeah, my point is, he cannot speak for HYA. He can speak to what he knows. And the way that question was phrased is asking him.
I can just pull the question and rephrase the question. I mean, like, really, I can get to it without.
Proceed to do that, please.
Okay, so Dr. Garvey, did you know that whether there were more than one versions of the HYA district leadership report?
I did not know.
Did you receive this email?
I did.
Does this email indicate to you now that there were more than one version of the HYA leadership report.
Objection, foundation calls for speculation. He cannot testify to what Mike Ritchie meant by a cleaned up version. He doesn't have the foundation.
I'm asking him if he know what it mean, if he reads that way right now, is what I'm saying. I said, is that what it means to him? I think that was pretty clean, actually.
To that clarification, he can answer.
It does not change my response.
Okay. So I'm going to bring up an exhibit previously introduced as C16. Make it a little larger for you. Okay, can you see this email, Dr. Garvey?
I do.
This is an email from Gwen Keller to you and Jeremy Childers, correct?
Yes,
And that's it. It's dated March 24th, 2023, correct?
that's correct.
All right. Now, have you seen this email before? You've read this before?
I'm sure I have.
Okay. And just to read it, the first part aloud, just to make sure we're on the same page. This is the email that starts, Dr. Garvey, I've heard from two parents who are concerned about Mr. Peterson teaching the boys human growth and development class. Intuitively, I thought that would be a concern as well, if you recall when we discussed it at a previous board meeting. Did I read that correctly?
You did.
Okay. Now I'm going to pull up an exhibit that I've previously introduced as C5. And I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. And we've seen this before. This is Jeff Peterson's administrative review, correct?
It is.
And this date is March 25th, 2023. Correct? This date right here.
It is.
Okay. And is this the same date that's on the email that I just showed you a second ago from Gwen Keller?
I didn't memorize that, but if you can flip back to it, I can confirm
Sure.
that.
So March 25th, 2023.
Yes,
And then we're going to go to March 24th, not the same day, the day after, March 24th, 2023, correct?
okay, yes,
So the day before, correct?
yes,
And she sent this to you at 15:36, so that's 3:36 p.m., correct?
yes.
Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Mr. Garvey. Your lawyer's going to want to ask you a few more, so
You can leave that up, Wes, if you wouldn't mind. Just leave
Okay.
up what you've got. That will save some time. Mr. Garvey, is the email before you dated March 24, 2023 from Ms. Keller? Did that email have any impact whatsoever on your administrative review of Mr. Peterson?
No,
In the second paragraph, which Attorney Haslam did not read to you, Ms. Keller indicates, quote, "Can you please confirm if another adult was observing the class? And if so, who?" Do you see where I read?
I do.
She references in the prior sentence about a previous board meeting. Do you see that?
Yes,
Can you tell the judge what you understood Ms. Keller was referring to with regard to the previous board meeting and a second adult observing?
I'm not totally sure on the previous board meeting comment. If she's referring to an after meeting discussion or if she's referring to the curriculum meeting, but certainly as we enter that time of year that human growth and development is taught, I believe she was very well aware of my position that two people teach together so as to avoid any sort of miscommunication that might be interpreted by a middle school boy or girl. And then for some reason, there was a very limited amount of information that the district wanted to present to community members and to parents as to what the content of our human growth and development curriculum really included.
You can take that down, Wes. Thank you. I'll try to do the rest of them. If I want to show them something, I'll give it my best. I'm going to try to orient you back to just a handful of topics that came up on your cross-examination by Attorney Haslam, and I'll try to reference back to you. We'll go through it as quickly as possible. You were shown an email from Ms. Keller dated March 27, 2023 that referenced Mr. Peterson. And I think, don't quote me on this, but she raised something about, will you bring this up in your performance discussion? And I could be something slightly different than that. My question is, did you inform the board in advance of Mr. Peterson being placed on a performance improvement plan that you intended to do that?
I can't tell you exactly when I informed them of that, but certainly my practice would be to keep them informed that things were happening in evaluations, just as I would keep them informed if there was a teacher situation that Mr. Peterson was handling.
Okay. You were asked a question about whether you believed Gwen Keller micromanaged you. You said no to that, or words to that effect. You were then shown a series of emails, and so I have a couple follow-up questions. Was Ms. Keller an active and engaged board member?
Yes.
Did she ask you, well, you tell the judge, I mean, how did she compare in terms of her inquiries of you, her questions, what she was looking for? How did she compare in all of your years of experience in terms of, the board members that you worked with?
Well, I think that anytime you have a parent board member, you have a certain sense of advocacy that goes on. And they are usually involved in multiple parent groups. And so they hear things. So there's always inquiry, right? And as compared to I have had other board members that are even more engaged, and I've had many board members that aren't nearly engaged enough, let alone at the level that Gwen is. She's extremely involved, very inquisitive. And a lot of times we just need to say, nope, that's really not the case, or that's not your purview.
And did her involvement at all, from just your honest reflections of Gwen's inquisitiveness or her desire to be involved, did you work there for 14 months? Did it come off to you to be like overstepping?
I don't think overstepping is a good term, but certainly using time to truly understand what was going on.
Okay. From time to time, as a superintendent, do you need to educate board members on what their role is versus what an administrative role is, et cetera?
Well, I actually see the superintendency as being about 50% about board member instruction and board member training. There was an earlier question about Gwen asking about responding to open records requests. And she always continued to share with me how a predecessor on the board said, now, when you do this job, you're responsible for X. And so, yes, the clerk is responsible for the keeping of all school records, but that doesn't mean they are kept in her garage. And so open records requests are handled usually by the superintendent or the office staff, many things like that. So that's all part of the instruction needed for board members.
I apologize. I'm seeing my client in the waiting lobby. I think he just might have gotten kicked off, but just bear with me. Could we admit Mike Leach?
Must be some technical issue. Didn't he
Yeah.
get knocked out before? Let's
I
try it
think
again.
he did. Thank you, Judge.
Okay.
And I'll keep an eye on it if we need to. Thank you. I
Yeah, please
appreciate that.
do, because
Yeah.
that's certainly not intentional on my part to exclude
no.
anybody. I just can't pay constant attention.
Totally understood.
Yeah.
Now, just to clean up a couple things, did Ms. Keller hold a leadership position on the board?
Yes, she was the clerk.
And as a clerk, I'm not asking for a legal opinion. In Raymond, what are the duties of the board clerk generally? Keep it high level, please.
Sure. Well, officially, she ensures that we've posted meetings. She ensures that we keep minutes. She ensures that all of the records are maintained as appropriate. None of those are her tasks.
Okay.
It's her purview to make sure that those things are being done.
Got it. And you were shown a public records, I think it was an email Ms. Keller sent regarding, I think it was the WEAC survey, but don't quote me on that. Let's strike that. I'm just going to let that email speak for itself. Did Mr. Peterson provide an augmentation to the HYA report?
That's really stretching my memory, but I do not
Okay.
believe that he did.
Okay, it's okay. If you don't remember, you don't remember. One moment. You were asked a question of an email, I think it was from Ms. Keller, involving a request for performance reviews of administrators. And you said that's not uncommon. And I want to ask you about that. In your years of experience as a superintendent / district administrator, have you received inquiries from board members about performance reviews of staff, not just administration, but teachers?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
Part of the annual process.
And when you get those inquiries, do you try to educate the board member or the board members on what that process looks like?
Yes, we would discuss the process if that's appropriate, how we go about that, protecting the rights of the employee, et cetera.
You were asked, shown an email, I believe, where there was reference to review of Mr. Peterson's personnel file. And I just want to ask you, if you don't remember, Dr. Garvey, just tell us. Did you ever review Mr. Peterson's personnel file to determine whether he had been evaluated by the prior superintendent?
I did not.
Okay, all right. You were asked about the WEAC survey, and I have a quick question about that. You said words to the effect of, I want to misstate. Let me try it this way. As the superintendent in Raymond, did you have direct responsibility and oversight of teachers?
No.
Who did?
That would fall to the principal, Mr. Peterson. And then as far as evaluation, Mrs. Ramon also participated in that.
Okay. So when you got a WEAC survey purportedly reflecting certain percentages of teachers and their, well, strike that. Did you know WEAC was purportedly doing a survey of you?
I don't think until after we saw the letter.
Okay. And I assume you were not privy to the process WEAC used to obtain to survey the members. Is that fair?
That's fair.
You probably just got the results, right?
Correct.
Okay. Now, given the fact that you don't have direct oversight of teachers, the principal does, did the teacher's view of you give you any pause? At least as purported in the survey results.
I would think yes.
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
that those are things I'm responsible for, but perception affects the operation.
Did you have concerns that Mr. Peterson was undermining you?
Yes.
Did you have concerns that Mr. Peterson was undermining the board?
Yes.
Did you have concerns that Mr. Peterson was doing those things in his communications with teachers?
Yes.
Do you know you were asked questions about the written threat? I'm not talking about the verbal threat that they apparently traced to somebody in Florida. Was to the best of your knowledge, did law enforcement ever trace out who made the written threat?
They did not.
Did you become aware that a not identical but similar written threat was made to then board president Audrey Kostich?
I was made aware of that.
Okay. And how were you made aware of that?
I believe it first was a phone call from Audrey to me, and then I think I eventually saw a copy of the letter.
Okay.
That was handled by the Racine County Sheriff's Department, whereas mine was handled by my local police department in Johnson Creek.
Oh, I see. Because you live in a different community. Is that right?
Correct. Correct.
Got it. Okay, I understand. Do you know how this Fox reporter purportedly became aware that a threat had been made against you?
I was trying to recall that when Attorney Haslam asked me that, and I'm not certain if we had a soft lockdown that day or something to cause community questions, but
Well,
I can't state that as a fact.
I'm going to try to refresh your recollection. Okay. Were
Okay.
there threats, not just the mail threat that, correct me if I'm wrong, that came in the US mail to like your mailbox at home, right?
Correct.
Okay, put that aside. The verbal threat or threats, did those come to the district through a district phone?
Yes.
Was once that threat was received, was it reported to local law enforcement?
Yes.
And do you recall whether there was a lockdown of the school for a significant period of time when that threat came in?
I believe that's the day we had the lockdown, but I can't say that for certain.
All right. Did the lockdown make local news?
Yes.
And by lockdown, just tell the judge, I know what it is because I'm a school lawyer. Tell the judge what that means, like in the sense of, okay, everybody's at school, we quote unquote locked down. What does that mean?
So there's a couple types of lockdown. So a soft lockdown would be no one leaves the building. We hang out inside. There's no recess periods outside. They're held inside. You can move from class to class. A threat lockdown, meaning an intruder, would be locked down in your classrooms. You don't move from classroom to classroom.
Okay. When you locked down, when that threat was made, did you have to inform families of the lockdown?
Yes,
Did you inform families of maybe a high level overview of why the school was locking down?
yes.
Did the fact, Dr. Garvey, that there had been a verbal threat, did that become public news on the day of the lockdown?
I'm sure it did.
There were one or two other things. I've just got to review my notes. I'm almost in. You were asked a series of questions about the HYA report, and I just want to be clear, Dr. Garvey. Do you have any knowledge from any source that there was more than one version of the report, at least that was provided to the school?
I do not.
The HYA report itself, you were shown, can't remember the number, 156. I could be wrong on that, but the same survey number from the HYA report to Raymond versus the HYA report to Johnson Creek. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Do you have personal knowledge as to whether that was a typo, the fact that there were an identical number of survey responses? Do you know why that is?
I do not.
Okay. And to be clear, were you involved at all in the Raymond School Board's decision to retain HYA in the first place?
No,
Do you have any reason from any source to believe that the data, the results in, strike that, let me start that over. Do you have any reason from any source to believe that HYA misrepresented the data that they put into the February 23rd, 2023 report that was issued to the Raymond School District?
I have no concern with that.
Did you attempt in any way to suggest that HYA do anything that would make the results of the HYA leadership profile negative toward Mr. Peterson?
Absolutely not.
And you were asked by counsel, and I think you testified to this clearly, whether the HYA report was the first time you noted a divide in staff, right? And I just want to ask you again, Dr. Garvey, when did you become aware, from your perception only, that there appeared to be a divide in staff?
Very early in my time in the district.
Did you have teachers coming to you reporting things that Mr. Peterson was purportedly doing or not doing with them and how he was treating others differently?
I did.
What do you mean by very early on you became aware of the staff divide? That very early on, can you tie it to an actual calendar?
I
Even an
probably can't
estimate?
tie it to a calendar, but the first couple of weeks I started to see some of that, and then it just became more and more obvious over time.
Yeah,
And
but I
to be-
guess I just don't understand when the question was when you first became aware of the staff divide, right? And I'm still not getting any actual calendar
Yep.
estimate.
Let's help. Dr. Garvey, as a reminder to the judge, your contract at Raymond started on November 1, 2022. Is that correct?
Yes,
But I think you testified earlier that in fairness, you did perform some duties in mid to late October of 2022. Is that right?
yes.
So when you use a few weeks in, was that your guidepost, late October, early November?
A few weeks into the year, starting in early November, so middle of November.
Okay, that's helpful, I think, for the judge. All right, I'm still reviewing my notes one more time. So just bear with me. Open records requests. You were asked questions about open records request, and Dr. Garvey, why do you not have it memorized as to who made open records requests when?
Well, it was very, when the open requests came in, they came in droves. And I completely lost track of how many open records requests they were while I was with the district, and apparently well past that, it continued. But they were very broad requests, and including number of personnel files, minutes of meetings, curriculum questions, etc. And in my limited time in the district, it's why we worked with our attorneys to locate folks that could do the redactions, prepare the notification letters, because as administrators, we're not permitted to go in and change our files, but we're allowed to augment our files. And so that notification has to go out during each, when there's a new type of request to the employee, and the employee can augment. If it's a teacher's record, they have the opportunity to ask for certain things,
Sure.
that will not be handed out.
Last area is SACs. Did you participate in any of the interviews that Attorney Jonathan Sachs actually conducted of staff?
No.
Did you provide Attorney Sachs with, kind of a one-sided list of everybody who's going to say negative things about Mr. Peterson?
No.
Was Attorney Sachs allowed to, at least, I know you left on December 31st. And we know, or we will know when he testifies, that his investigation spanned beyond that. So at least up through December 31st. Did you provide Attorney Sachs with, strike that, let me try it this way. Was Attorney Sachs allowed to identify any additional witnesses that he would want to speak with after conducting interviews, at least as far as up through December 31?
Yes.
You were asked about one of the letters, I think to the Fox reporter, I could be wrong, but it referenced criminal. You said you had legal counsel draft that, right? And my question is, did you have the district's general legal counsel involved in the assistance of the district responding to numerous public records requests?
Yes.
Why? Why did you have legal counsel involved in that?
I think that they're better equipped to help with the redactions and what needs to be redacted and what doesn't, and making sure we meet all the statutory dates on notices and things like that.
You were final question. I'll represent you. The Sachs investigation report comes out several months after you're gone from Raymond.